We're looking at homework for section 7.1. This is question number 20. State H0 and HA in words and in symbols. Then determine whether the hypothesis test is left-tailed, right-tailed, or two-tailed. Explain your reasoning. Sketch a normal sampling distribution and shade the area for the p-value. A report claims that lung cancer accounts for at most 25% of all cancer diagnoses. So the first thing that we need to do is understand that this claim is about a population proportion. At most 25% of all cancer diagnoses is a percentage, which leads us to a population proportion. Now we'll look for key words. The key phrase here is at most 25%. At most 25% leads us to a less than or equal to sign. At most is a less than or equal to. So this is less than or equal to 0.25, because when we write our statements, we convert our percentages into decimal form. So once we've got what the inequality should be and the fact that it's about a population proportion, we can write our first claim. Our first claim directly from the statement of the problem is that P is less than or equal to 0.25. Which type of hypothesis is this? Is it the null hypothesis or the alternative hypothesis? And the answer to that question can be found in the fact that this has an equality in it. It's less than or equal to. When we have some statement of equality, that makes this an H0. So to form our other hypothesis, we need to know which symbol is the complementary pair to the less than or equal to symbol. And that would be the greater than symbol. So the other hypothesis here is that P is greater than 0.25. That will be your HA. So to state these in words, we need to use the language from the problem itself. We're talking about lung cancer and what percentage of the diagnoses are there. So my null hypothesis should be that the population proportion of cancer diagnoses attributable to lung cancer is at most 0.25. And the alternative hypothesis is going to say pretty much the same thing, only it's going to say is greater than 0.25. The population proportion of cancer diagnoses attributable to lung cancer is more than 0.25. So those are our two hypotheses in words. We also need to know what test type we're going to be doing. So let's give ourselves a little bit of room on the screen here. Move these over to the right and move these statements up. And then we'll talk about test types. So there are three types of hypothesis tests. There's the left-tailed, right-tailed, and two-tailed. They're completely determined by the symbol in HA. A left-tailed test happens when HA has a less than symbol. Right-tailed tests happen when HA contains a greater than symbol. And two-tailed tests happen when HA contains a not equal to symbol. So because we had a greater than symbol here, this is going to be a right-tailed test. Now we're supposed to sketch a distribution and shade the area for the value of P. So since this is a right-tailed test, the p-value will be found in the right tail. So we would sketch a normal distribution and then shade an area in the right-hand tail, and that's what our distribution would look like. That's your answer.